We're set.
All right. So without any further ado, Denise, take it away.
I will. Here we go. Welcome, everyone. Before I get started, I first want to acknowledge the two classes that were given prior to this evening. A week ago tonight, Samantha Rausch's class, and then this past Sunday night, Emily Watson's class. I believe that the information they gave in their classes has perfectly set up for tonight's class. So if you weren't able to attend their class, or if you haven't been able to watch the recordings yet, go to successwithelfa.com and take a look. You'll love what they say. And there's a couple of times I'm even going to refer to them. So tonight's class is called Know Who You're Talking to. If you don't know who you're talking to, everything's going to be fuzzy. And it's not just what the people you're talking to, it's not just what they're hearing that's going to be fuzzy, but you're also not going to clearly understand what they're saying to you if you don't understand who they are. If you're not truly listening and understanding them, you won't be able to walk away remembering the conversation you had. In fact, I have recognized myself that if I go into a meeting with someone and prior to the meeting I have been thinking about what I'm going to say, typically when I leave that meeting, what I remember is what I said. And I don't necessarily remember what they said to me. So with the information that we're gathering together this evening, our hope is to take the information and better understand the people that we're talking to, and better understand ourselves as well, and how we are presenting ourselves to the people we're talking to. So are you thinking so much about what you're going to say to someone that you forget to actually listen to them? Build into your plan time for listening so that you know what is best for the person you're talking to. When you do, then you will be best prepared. Marge Percy said, if you want to be listened to, you should put time into listening. In addition to listening, the other half of it is talking. How do we sound? What do we say? I came up with this word hail, which means to greet or acclaim enthusiastically, and it reminded me so much of Anton living in the middle of New York City for two reasons. One, I would imagine him hailing a cab, greeting a cab, and the other is acclaiming that he is living in New York City. Very enthusiastically, he would be doing both of those things. But for tonight's class, I'm using an acronym to describe the 4 cornerstones that guide us when we want our message to be powerful and impactful. So H, of course, H stands for honesty. Be true, straight, and clear with your message and your actions. A, be authentic. Stand in your truth. Just be who you are. Just be authentic. Be yourself. For the good and the bad, just be authentic. Integrity. Be your word. Do what you say you're going to do. Be Be a person that people can trust. And then the last, L for love. And in this situation, it means sincerely wishing people well. So gather all of this together. Be honest with yourself and the people you're engaging with. Be true, be straight, be clear, stand in your truth, be who you are, the good and the bad, live it, own it, have integrity, say what you're going to do, be who you are, be your word, say what you're going to do, and do it all with care, generosity, sympathy, empathy, and love in your heart. We're going to begin talking about sorting. What I want you to consider as we're talking about sorting is imagine your list of people. This is where I want you to start pulling out that list, or maybe the note, the form that I posted earlier today where I said you might be taking some notes and thinking about people. This is where we're going to begin. Just like our laundry, we are going to sort people. With laundry, we have we separate the colors and the whites, and we have special water temperatures for them, and we have special laundry detergents for them, and we have special drying times for each one of them. Each fabric is handled in a particular way, and the people we are engaging with are fabrics in our life, and we want to handle each of them in their own very special and particular way. So first of all, for the sake of story, we are going to begin by referring to people in categories of red, green, and blue. The red people in your family or in your life are the people that you look up to. They're the people that you admire. They're people that you want to be more like. And then the green are your family and friends. They know all about you. You're very close to them. You see them often. And the blue are the people who look up to you. They admire you. They come to you for advice and guidance. You might be a mentor with them. When you begin in Alpha, it's natural. Anyone in any network marketing company, the natural thing to do is to first go to your family and friends. And why? Well, most especially with your family, because if you screw up, they're going to love you anyway, right? But it's the people you feel most comfortable with. They're the ones that were at your graduation, they were at your gymnastics meets and your football games and your piano recital. They were always there to cheer for you, right? They were there to cheer for you, support you, encourage you. So, of course, wouldn't they be the first people you would go to? However, there's one very important job that they have. Their job is to protect us from making bad decisions, right? They're there to protect us. So we may go to dad, mom, sister, brother, bestest friend in the whole wide world since second grade and say, wow, you wouldn't believe this opportunity I have. And they shut the door and you're crushed. How could this happen? How can I go on? I must have made a bad decision. Maybe I'm not right about this choice. Maybe I shouldn't have invested. What did I do? And you're second guessing yourself. But no. You knew at the moment that you made that decision that it was the right decision. And don't second guess yourself. Just recognize that mom, dad, and your best friends, their job is to make sure that they're protecting you. In fact, my own story is pretty unique. When I began with Alpha, it was April of 2012, and we were about 2 months into the China trip motion, winning a trip to China. It was from so I started in the middle of April. The promotion ended, the game, it ended the end of August, and I earned that trip. I did not tell anyone in my family that I was in Alpha, that I had a second career I was working on. I didn't tell them anything until 2 weeks after I earned the trip, when Alpha officially announced that I was good to go. And then I called them up and said I was going to China, free, a $10,000 trip. Now I had their attention, and now they believed what I had to say. So the next group of people that you're naturally going to go to are the blues. They are the people who admire you. They're the ones that you might mentor. They look up to you. They want to be more like you. And you go to them because you know that you have their support. They admire you. They're going to trust you because they trust that you've vetted this company. They trust your decisions. So they are going to be the first people who will enjoy or engage in your team, become a part of your company. There's a dilemma, though, because the blue people in your team are often not those who take charge. They're waiting for you to take charge and tell them what to do. They're waiting for you to make decisions for them. They're waiting for you to guide them. They're not taking ownership of their own business. And then what do? The same thing you just did. And what happens is we end up with a large collection of blue people. I've witnessed this. I've witnessed this on a large scale. Somebody who collected a large number of blues. Everybody admired this person. Everybody respected and thought well of this person. But the team never grew. It never really went anywhere. It was a team built on sand rather than concrete. There wasn't a solid foundation because there were so many blues. And then the last people that you will go to possibly pique their curiosity are the reds. The red people are those that you look up to. You admire them. You want to be more like them. They also give you butterflies in your stomach just thinking about going and presenting. Show the plan, as Sam says. Show the plan. You chicken out. You pick up the phone, you're going to call, and you don't. You start typing an email, but you don't send it to them. You're all aflutter, so worried about this person because you want them to respect you as much as you respect them. And right now, you know that they like you and you think that they respect you, and you don't want to lose that. So I encourage you to step out to those reds. And here's why. Because let's say that red person says to you, Mary, The time isn't right now. I'm spinning plates. I've got 3 other companies I'm working with right now. I don't have time. But I encourage you, Mary. I support you, Mary. I believe this is a good opportunity. And, you know, there might be a time down the road, perhaps when all of this settles, that I'll be interested in looking at this again. And that's great. But what you want from that red more than even them is their referrals. Because why? Well, first of all, to a red, you are a blue. You admire, you look up to them. You're a blue. And their greens, their family and their friends are still people you admire and look up to. So if they will give you their referrals, whether they be red, green, or blue, that's fantastic. You want them. And if this red person you're approaching today, if it's not the right time for them, that's okay, because when it is the right time, they can plug in under that green person who's related to them that said, yes, I do like Alpha. And then that person goes to town and this person you first approach ends up under them. It's a win-win-win-win situation in all around, right? So if you've been in Alpha for a while and you're looking at the team that you've accrued so far, and you're thinking to yourself, it's just not strong enough, I need more oomph here, I encourage you to go to your list and find out who your red people are. Okay? Go back to that list. Who are the people that make you nervous? I have to mention Mary Vogel, who is in South Carolina. She's so good at this. She's so good. She gets really nervous and she says, I have a meeting with a red. She tells us, I have a meeting scheduled with a red for Tuesday at 9 o'clock. And we're just cheering for her. And you know what? When she shows up for that meeting, that coffee with the red person, she has the hail all in place. She is there with honesty, authenticity, integrity, and love. She just is pure, genuine Mary. And when she shows up that way, that red person believes in her and says yes. Now, next we're going to be talking about the four fish personalities and how those 4 personalities fit into the 5 steps of network marketing. So, the 4 fish are the shark, the whale, the dolphin, and the urchin. We'll begin with the shark. The shark is an ambitious person. They're go-getters. They're very competitive. The shark is going to say to you, give me the facts, tell me what I have to do, what is the deadline, how much am I going to get paid? They like people who show strength. They want to be the best. They want to have the best. And they're very time sensitive, very time oriented. You'll see here off to the side some of the words that you want to use when you're with a shark. And I will have this available later so you know. With a shark, you want to show strength. You want to show confidence. I am confident in Alpha. I am confident I made the right decision, and you can be confident with me. And then there's the whale, the dreamers. This is the person that you are going to call. If you are needing somebody to pick you up from the airport at midnight, they're going to be the person you call when you're moving from a very large home into a small apartment. They're the person you call when you need help. In fact, look, one of the words I have right here at the top of the list is help. They're caregivers. They want to make an impact. They are involved in charities. They don't just donate to a cause, they promote causes. If you go to Facebook, it's the people who are whether it is pet rescues or homeless or orphanage or rescue shelters, whatever it is that is near and dear to their heart, it's going to be on their Facebook page. The other important detail about a whale is that they're very good listeners. And why are they such good listeners? Because they're listening for the tidbit of information you're going to give them as to how they can help you. So sometimes a whale is going to be the person you go to as a connector. It might not be the person who wants to join your team, but they're going to connect you to the person that is going to join your team. They want to help you. And I've heard this from other people where they hear back, this doesn't feel like the right thing for me, but I want to help you. That would be a whale. The dolphin. They're cheering, they're happy, they're all full of fun and enthusiasm. They're going to push away all their responsibility in order to have fun. They're entertaining, they're joking around, they're very charming and charismatic, and they're rarely alone. They're rarely alone, just like the dolphins who swim in pods, and even the whales. They're rarely alone. Whales and dolphins are always around a group of people, surrounded by people. The dolphins are those who are on social media. They know every platform of social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Periscope. They're doing them all because they love that interaction. They're very ambitious. They love to talk. They love to be social. Fun, party, enjoyment, freedom. When you're with them, you want to be animated and expressive because they're going to be bored if you're not. The urchin. The urchin is extremely detail-oriented. They need to have all the facts and figures. They're going to analyze information before deciding that they've made the right choice. They need to analyze the information. In fact, for an urchin, data, information, perfection gets in their way. Perfection. The desire for perfection and to have all the information gets in their way. They're very calm in nature, very calm, very cerebral. I was watching a rerun of Shark Tank, and there was this couple who brought their idea to the Shark Tank, to the 5 sharks, and it was spot on. They had every T crossed and every I dotted. Everything was perfect. And the sharks in Shark Tank, they were fighting over who was going to get this company, who was going to get to be the shark. And then it was towards the end, one of them made a killer comment. And they said, we're not ready to go to market yet. We have more information we need to gather. And all 5 sharks just went, like, sucked the air right out of them. What? And guess what? Nobody. Those people walked away without a deal. Why did they walk away without a deal? Because they were too much an urchin. They were ready, set, and they were ready to go. And they said, oh, we just need to dot some more I's and cross some more T's. And they lost the deal. So don't be that urchin. Now, what we're going to do next, actually, before I get too much further, there's something that Samantha Rausch said a week ago. There's a couple things that she said, and I want to share them with you. I really admire Sam, and I love her languaging. One of the things she said is, if you're saying things to people in a manner that they're not expecting you to speak, it's going to be weird. They're not going to, they're going to be in their heads thinking, that's not the way I'm familiar with Denise talking. She doesn't normally say those words, you know. So there's a uncertainty. The integrity is off, right? And when that integrity is off, you're going to have difficulty building rapport around the situation. Be real, genuine, and authentic. Sam said, if you don't make it weird, it's not weird. Be yourself, and it won't be weird. I just love that. I gotta say it one more time. If you don't make it weird, it's not weird. Just be yourself, and it won't be weird. I love that. So next we're going to take the personalities of the 4 fish, and we're going to integrate them into the 5 steps of network marketing. The first 4 steps of network marketing are all about prospecting, and then the last step is training. And believe you me, I could do a whole training session just on how to talk while training. But tonight, I'm going to give nuggets of information, just little nuggets. And so just so you know all the steps, the first one is inpatient. This is where you're simply building a rapport and possibly piquing some interest. This is where your listening skills come into play. This is highly about this 90% listening and 10% talking. That 10% is going to be potent because it's enough to pique their interest. And when they've had their interest piqued, then they are going to say to you, I would like more information. And that's what's going to happen in step 2. You're going to give them a little more information. And when they say, I'm still curious about this, you are then going to go to step 3. Step 3 is when you're introducing them either to someone who is in your upline or someone who they would consider an expert, someone they would consider mutual to them, either someone they admire or, if you're talking to a shark, someone mutual. And then the last step is a decision. Is it the decision yes or no, or maybe? And if it's no or maybe, typically it means the time's not right or I need more information. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with the shark. Now, let me step back here a second. You'll notice the 4 shark here in this column on the left-hand side. And under each shark, I have listed someone who is extremely successful and an authority in their field, and someone that we admire, someone who's in the press. The other detail about each person, Mark Cuban, Oprah Winfrey, Richard Branson, and Warren Beatty, is that each of them is a billionaire. Okay? So first we'll talk about the shark. When you get together with a shark, it's the invitation, first step. What they need to hear in that 10 seconds of 10% of time that you're talking is that this is a small investment with a big return. You're going to want to get straight to the point with them, right? Don't dilly-dally. Again, remember, they're very time sensitive. Time is of the essence. So with them, don't think you're going to meet at a coffee shop and just sit around and chit-chat. That's not going to happen. The shark is the pioneer. They like that about Alpha. We are pioneers. We're early adapters here in the United States. Alpha early adapters, AEA. They like to hear that. They already know all about exponential growth and residual income. They're already in industries that have that tied in. The insurance person, the rental properties, I can name more. That's already somebody who understands the residual income and exponential growth. So just get right to the point. They know that. Don't spend a lot of time having to explain it. When you've piqued their interest and they're more curious because they like being an early adapter pioneer, and they say, tell me more, well, the next bit that they're interested in, remember, they are saying to themselves, give me the facts. What do I need to know? What do I need to do? What's the deadline and how much am I going to get paid? So one of the things that you want to introduce to them is the comp plan. And you need to decide which video that might be based on their time schedule, their personality. And within this next step, two things you want to talk about is the experts and leaders within Alpha. We have 300 millionaires, at least 300 within Alpha. You want to talk about those who have capitalized on this opportunity and their successes. And then you want to talk about the systems that they can plug into. They're very systems oriented, and the shark is going to be the person who quickly gets their 3 people. They're gonna get their P3 because they want those first 3 people to train everybody else. So they want there to be a system that they can get those first 3 people plugged into that they're going to understand well and be able to train everybody else. The shark isn't necessarily the trainer, but they're going to find 3 key people who will be able to run a prosperous business and efficiently. And so when they now say, actually, what you want to consider is with a shark, there might not be a step 3. A shark often goes from 2 to 4. So, in fact, I've had people who have been with a shark, and the shark said, okay, I'm ready. What do I need to do? And that person will say, would you like to talk to my upline? What? Why do I need to talk to an upline? I just said I want to do this. They make quick decisions and they want to go. But if they do get to that upline or the expert is going to complement me, edify me, or marry you. They're going to edify you. They're going to compliment you because they want the shark to have confidence in you. And the expert's going to talk about the plan. They're going to talk about leveraged income. That's huge for a shark. And the other thing that's important for a shark, especially when they're with another leader expert, is let the shark talk about herself or himself. Let them talk about themselves. It's very important when they're in when it's a shark and shark together, that your shark you're introducing gets to talk as much as possible. And how do you get a shark to make a decision? What are you going to say? You're going to say, are you ready to make some money? The answer is yes. They always want to make money. And once they say yes, and you're into the training process, again, it's the systems. They just need to know the systems that they're going to plug people into. They need to know about the corporate support. That's not only support at alpha.com or the 855 phone number, but the library of information in our back office as well. And then, this is key for the shark. The shark is going to want to advance in rank. They're going to want those cash bonuses, and they're going to want that car. The shark is materialistic, and they're ego-driven. So you are going to encourage, inspire, and lead them through ranks, bonuses, and incentives, trips, and everything else, right? Okay, so then the next is the whale, Oprah Winfrey. The whale, when you meet with a whale to establish the rapport, they are the dreamers. You're going to want to hear their dreams. Tell me, what is it that you want? What's your biggest dream? What do you, if money was no object, if you could donate or give or be anything, what would it be that you'd like to have or do? Get them dreaming. And then when you have that 10% of conversation that you're talking about, Alfie, you're going to talk about how Alfie is so very philanthropic, about how they're concerned about the environment, about how they're organic, about how they are GMP certified. And you want to talk about, wouldn't the whale like to have an opportunity to donate an infinite amount of money? Wouldn't they love to, if somebody says, I want to go on a mission trip and I'm trying to raise money, and instead of saying, I've got 20 bucks, you could say, I've got $2,000 for you. Wouldn't you love that? Get them dreaming that way, okay? And when their interest is piqued, when they're more curious, you want to then, step 2, talk to them about how we're always supporting each other, just as we are here tonight, right? How we have these Zoom meetings where we're getting together with people all over the world, sharing our stories. We're encouraging support. It's all about how we're supporting and helping each other. And then step 3, when you bring them to your upline or expert, again, that person is going to talk to them about dreaming and imagining. What would you truly like your life to be? And how, let me show you how you can make an impact. There's one thing that I always say about Alfie, and that is Alfie is very, very generous. Very generous. So if you can just show the whale the placement tree compensation, just that, just get their heads wrapped around the placement tree compensation, just to begin with, okay? Because they love dreaming. So you can imagine with them how they just enrolled someone into their business who knows somebody in Texas and enrolled a whole family of people from Texas who knows somebody in Portland, Oregon, who knows somebody in Malaysia. Now, tomorrow morning, you wake up and guess what? Those people in Malaysia, they're hard workers and they really love these mushrooms and they love alpha and they understand it. And in your placement tree commission, you've now got a check coming in every week, not once a month, every week. Imagine that. Imagine what you can do. And it's not just your blood, sweat, and tears. Now you can put your action in a more productive way. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. I think the whale just came out in me. I got all choked up. Oh, so sorry. So, moving on. What will you say to a whale in order to get them to the decision process? You might say, would you like to start changing the world? Or you might say, would you like to start making a difference? Remember how we just were talking and dreaming about this? Wouldn't you like to do that? When they have enrolled in your company and you're now in the training process, this is you're going to say to them, this is how you can help people have a better financial future. And you simply are training them to build rapport, pique their interest, and introduce them to an expert or upline. And all they're going to do is they're going to get 3 people. And then when they get 3 people, they will help those 3 people get 3 people. And it's help. You just want to keep using the word help. It's people helping people. Now, the dolphin. The dolphin is all about fun, casual experience. When you're meeting with a dolphin, and chances are you are meeting with them. Hold on one second. I'm so sorry. Because the dolphin really loves to go have coffee. They really love to socialize, whether it's coffee or wine. They want to get together. They want to touch you. They want to get all dressed up and so that they can show you, who they are. And when you go there, make sure you don't dress all stuffy. You need to be casual. This a lot of times is going to be the work from home mom. This is they're going to be a little more casual. You're going to turn them off if you're dressed up too precisely, too pristine. You're going to turn them off with numbers, facts, and figures. It's all about the emotions with the dolphin. And when they've gotten curious and they step to number 2, it's vacations, it's iPads, it's MacBook Air, it's incentives. It's about how we get together like this. Just like the whale, again, they're all about being in pods in schools, wanting to be together. And they don't want things to be stuffy. And again, about social media. So if you do meet with them in a coffee shop, you're going to probably want to get home and connect with them on Facebook if they haven't already done that with you. They're very social. You're going to want to connect with them. And they definitely want to talk to your expert, or you might not even want to refer to that mentor. You're going to want to say mentor as opposed to expert or leader. They're going to be interested in your mentor. And that mentor, first thing the mentor's going to do is edify this person. Just like the shark. The shark and the dolphin, they want to be fluffed. They want you to tell them how cool and great they are. Fluff them up. That's good. Get them all fluffed up. thank them for being there, and then of course that mentor needs to thank you as well, or edify you as well, because the dolphin wants to be with all the cool people, and maybe that's the person you're going to talk, or how you're going to refer to the mentor. I really want you to talk to this person who I think is so cool. I really admire this person. They're a mentor. I think they're so cool, and I think you're going to like them too. And once they're there at step 3, then what do you say to them is, are you ready to have some fun? And when they say yes and you get into the training, you're going to step them through the ranks, and by encouraging them, by celebrating, you're going to inspire. You're going to always be talking to them about either PBRs. PBRs are going to be important to them, or Super Saturday, where you have a larger group of people getting together. How many people can you get to Super Saturday? It's the Dolphins going to have most people there, and they're also the people whose job should be to greet those who are attending. But they want to step up through the ranks. They want those titles. They want the accomplishments. They want the rewards, incentives. And then last is the urchin. Again, remember, the urchin is slower in making decisions. They're very detail oriented. So you need to talk to them about the integrity of Alpha. That's huge. Integrity is very important to them, and kind of it summarizes everything. You want to reference that Alpha hosted the International Mycology Conference twice, and how they're backed by research and has 75 or more full-time psychologists. And you want to talk about the certifications, everything that's facts and figures you're going to give to them. Actually, what you're going to do with the urchin after you've listened to them, remember, there's a lot of listening first. And an urchin is a tough one to listen to, or not to. They're not difficult to listen to, but see, they want to listen to you, because they're going to want you to talk so that they can get all the information out of you. It's hard to turn it around with an urchin. But what you're going to want to do is all that information prior to connecting with an urchin. You've got that information in standby. Either it's in a folder on the front seat of your car, it's a folder on your desktop, it's an email that's drafted with all the attachments, and all you need to do is go back and tweak it when you get home. Everything is ready to rock and roll when they say, I'm curious about this, tell me more. Okay, then you'll tell them more. And so in that's step 2, right? And the things that you want to talk to them about in step 2 is they're curious as to, what does my day-to-day look like? What am I going to do? How does it feel? How do I act? What does it sound like? This is where you're going to tell them more about the back office, the library. Be a little bit cautious about that, because our urchins get lost there. You'll talk about the Facebook groups that we have, so that if they have questions, there's oodles of resources of people that they can go to. And if you're giving them a video, it oftentimes is going to be a little longer video. They require that. And you need to give them a little more time to process. And then when they say, I'm still curious about this, tell me more, you're going to ask if it would be okay to introduce them to the people you most admire, the experts. And when they get to that person is going to reiterate the facts you've already given them and possibly give more facts. And then the question you ask them is, are you ready to share this with others? And when they say yes, and you get into the training, the first thing you want to do is identify their why. And why do you want to identify their why? Because you need to get them away from the facts and figures, out of their head and into their heart. Their why is in their heart. If they stay in the facts and figures in their head, they're never going to get out of the library in the back office or the conversations in the Facebook groups. You need to get them into that dreaming part, their why. And then another key thing with the urchins is you need to set deadlines for them. And why do you need to set deadlines? For the same reason. Don't let them get mired down in the details. And the last thing with your training an urchin is you want to caution them from overwhelming people with facts and figures. This class would be a great place to bring them so that that doesn't happen. In addition to the form you just saw, I have this one too. I'm not going to go through all of this tonight, but I will make it available to anyone who wants both of these forms. So with all this wonderful information, with this, you've thought about so many people along the way. You've had aha moments about yourself as we've been talking about this. Understanding who you are and who you're talking to helps you to communicate more clearly. So for instance, that dolphin, you can't give them facts and figures because you're going to sound like Charlie Brown's teacher if you do. They're going to hear rah, 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 rah. They're not going to hear anything you say. But if you talk to them about, oh my God, it's so much fun. We did this trip and there's cash and you can get an iPad. Now the dolphins all over. They've got you dialed in, tuned in, loud and clear. Okay? I want to bring us back a moment to Emily Watson. She said that there's 3 steps, maybe 4 she said. She said, first you have to build rapport. That's the listen and learn. Listen, 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 and learn more about them. Listen to the person that you're with and learn more about them. That's the building rapport. And then she said you need to pique interest. That's when you engage them with more information. And then take action, which is when you lead them to third-party validation and videos and such. And don't forget, along the way, celebrate each and every step. They all matter. I love quotes, and John Quincy Adams said, if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. And I hope this information tonight helps you to become and do all of that. Thank you.
Wow, a big, big thank you goes to you, Denise. This was outstanding. Thank you. You are an incredible teacher and an incredible presenter. And the information you gave, I believe, is nobody has ever isolated the parts that you did so that we could have that now as that will be a class that I will give all of my distributors to start prospecting. So great. So I just want to.
I do need to give credit. I do need to give some credit within this chart of information. I sat down with 8 people, all of us combinations of sharks, whales, dolphins, and urchins, and it was together that we came up with this, and we looked at what would I want to have happen to me? How would I want someone to be to talk to me. And the other thing to keep note of is that we aren't just one fish. We're all the fish. And at any time, one of those fish can be more prevalent than another.
Denise, I have a question.
Thank you. You really encapsulated it beautifully. Gene, do you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question for Denise. My question is, since people we meet don't end up looking like fish, how do we, I don't think so. How do we know who they are? Like how do we figure out what kind of fish each person is?
By the personality that they're presenting to you. So the shark.
What clues would we look for? Like, I mean, do we ask them questions?
The shark is going to be on time. No, you don't. Just the shark is going to be on time. The shark is a leader in their field. The shark is all dressed up nice, has a nice car. The whale is, you already know something about this person. You already know that they're about causes. The dolphin, you already know that they are very enthusiastic, and you already know they're very into social media. And the urchin, every person that you are connecting to, you're already going to have a sense of them. But then you're going to listen to them. Tell me more about yourself, asking more questions from them. And as they give you morsels of information, they're feeding you their personality.
Okay, so you talk to them and you have to pick up on that.
You will.
Behavior. Yeah, okay.
And it all starts becoming more natural. I remember when I started with Alpha, I never imagined I would ever be able to speak a full paragraph ever in my life. Was I ever going to talk about Alpha in a full paragraph? I didn't think I would be able to do it. And just as your question is leading, like, how am I ever going to pull this together? When you're meeting somebody, don't think about step 2, 3, 4, and 5. Only think about step 1, and that's listening. Only think about listening.
Thank you. Good, Denise. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Denise, one question one of the participants had was whether they would have charts. The charts that you had, do we have any downloads?
Yes.
Great.
Yes, I will make them available, definitely. I can get them to you, Anton. I can post them in Alpha Daily Newspaper, whatever you want.
Or just either one. You can get them to me and I'll put them on the replay for tomorrow morning. This will be,
okay.
We have recorded this and this will certainly be replayed and available on replay tomorrow morning.
Super duper.
Any other questions that we have for this amazing presentation that Denise has given us? Such a gift, Denise. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate this. It's one of the our presentations. Just, we have so much talent within our organization. It's just so glad that we're able to leverage one another and to really help each other get out of whatever place we are that's not allowing us to succeed in the way we want to, in the way that we want to. We all have our own. We all have our own level of success. What that means to us, and what's important here is that you use all the resources and leverage everybody's knowledge here to get to the level of success that you are desiring for yourself. So thank you once again, guys. I will have this up.
Thank you.
If there's any other questions you have for Denise, ask them now, or we shall now conclude this amazing evening. Denise, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you again. It's just
thank you to everyone who contributed.
Thank you, Denise. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Such a lot of work you did.
Over the top, Denise. Over the top.
Thank you. I enjoyed it. Take care.
Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.